All right, how about the audio? Horrible. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Let me check now. Is this better?
All right, looks like we got it. All right. Let's check the chat. Hello, only Oscars. Mike Hunt. Myself. Hello, myself. Fish Fam Link. New Local Austin. A shout out to the Guppies. Branton, Lightcap. Dr. Ted. Welcome in, everybody. I hope you're having a fabulous Sunday night. I am feeling better. So, we can hang out. I don't typically show these guppies, so I figured that we could have them in the background tonight. There is so many of them. They are all doing so good. There might be a Guppler in here. Guppler, Enduppy, whatever you call the mix between a guppy and an Endler. I was looking at it. It has some unique patterning that I think is pretty unique to the Endler. So I was a little bit skeptical. What size tank? This is a 10-gallon. And it's just a little 10-gallon. There's a lot of fish in here. There's so many. Y'all count and let me know how many guppies you count in here. I got up to like 30 and said, I don't know why I'm doing this anymore. There's a lot. They aren't going to stay in a 10-gallon. They will go outside in a pond. Because every time I say they're going to go outside, somebody is like, you're just going to throw them outside. No, they're going in water outside. I just got guppy fry this weekend. That's awesome. We got some over in the corner here. We've got, starting from left to right, we've got nothing. And we got a rock. And then we got the sponge filter. And we've got, this is like a breeding box filled with Java moss. And there's also Java ferns in that Java moss. It was just like a big giant thing and they grew together. So it's Java moss and Java ferns all together. This typically doesn't have this much light. So everything growing in here is a little dingy. So I mean, this tank, if you look up in the corner, it doesn't even have that much duckweed compared to my other ones. Let's see. Guesses for how many guppies are in here. 10,000. Okay. It's 10,023. Okay. We got a 150. Listen. This 10,000, that is a possibility if you just let them go. You can definitely have 10,000 guppies in a short amount of time. I do have some blondes in here. There's a whole bunch. That's where I'm at. There's a whole bunch. I do have some blondes in here, like I was just saying. I do have some blondes, and I want to try and catch them out and do just blondes. I'd like to breed just blondes because I always find those really pretty males, and they never have a female counterpart. So breeding with like a pretty blank guppy, it might not be like a wild type guppy by any means, but it is much better than one of the patterns. So I'm going to try my best to pull out some of the blondes when I dismantle this tank, which will be soon. It is getting to prime tubbing season here, and I would like to get them out before it gets too hot so they can adjust with the weather. I got up to counting 30 of them. So there is over 30 in this 10 gallon. And most of them are teeny tiny little babies. So I do have a topic for today, and I'd love y'all's opinion about it. It is, with the rising prices of aquarium items, will you, or do you think people will get back into DIY again? So we'll be talking about DIY. I am a big fan of DIY and not just going out and buying the things, because the things are expensive. And the cheap things aren't always the best quality. Now, with things like tariffs, things coming from China, which used to be cheap, aren't going to be available to us anymore. So, personally, I think that DIY is going to be a bigger thing again. What do y'all think? Oh yeah, I forgot. As always, anybody can come up and talk if they want to. That guppy just absolutely kicked everything up. Real nice. I'm trying to get good video of y'all, and you're just gonna make a mess. I see how it is. But as I was saying, I put up the link if anybody wants to join. You don't have to. And if you do come up, you don't have to show your face. I'm not. Mostly because it is 10:30 and I have already how do you call it? I've already gotten ready for bed. Let's see. DIY will rule in the next 4 years. 90% of this hobby can be DIY or just done without. I agree. Even tanks can be DIY. They don't even have to be glass. I have seen a lot more tubs indoors than I have tubs indoors in the past 6 months than I have since I started keeping fish when I was a child, right? I think that's the way things are going to go. So I agree. growing up in a big family, DIY isn't a style, it's a way of life. I agree. I grew up poor. Um, I grew up poor, so I did a lot of makeshift things. I'm lazy 9 times out of 10. I just buy the things. That being said, the increase in prices definitely makes DIY more prominent. I think. I don't know what that is. I have always done DIY stuff. I don't like shipping times, and I like creatively doing things. So, I mean, I have a PVC pipe water sucker thing. I have I've made my own sponge filters. I've made my own tubs outside. I make my own stands. When all the fish stores close, I'll be adding on to the fish room. That's the best time. These guppies are so messy. I've been feeding them the New Life Spectrum with garlic for the past couple of days. I don't like feeding garlic all the time, like as a diet staple. Um, but every once in a while, I really want to give the fish some garlic, especially the guppies and the gambusia and the least killifish. They're all kind of sickly little fish, so I like to give them just a little bit every once in a while. Yes, that was supposed to be prominent in the right laying bed. It's all right. If I could do this stream laying in bed, I would. Well, I agree that you should support your local businesses. Sometimes there's absolutely nothing that we can do, right? So if the world is in a recession, the people that are consuming are also affected, right? So to make the best out of a bad situation, I say go ahead. Especially like the people who had to close their business are already upset. They typically sell these things, so they have some way to get through to the next thing. So yeah, it's a sucky situation and it's sad. And it's just overall not the best situation. But if you can see like a little bit of the good in it, right? Like, okay, so if this happens, right? And unfortunately, it's looking to when this happens, right? Unless things change, right? I'm not a whatchamacallit, right? I keep fish. That's what I do. Um, unless things change, it looks like a lot of things, like just like with the 2020, things are bound to shut down. And just like Britain said, it's not only because of recessions. There is also the fish keeping community typically is older. And like looking at like stepping back and looking at like the whole, and like I know that we here on YouTube are looking at it and going, there's not a lot of older people in the hobby, but there are tons, and I think it is quite the majority are over to the age of 60 years old. This is very much a retirement hobby. And they're older, and nobody wants to take over the store when it gets to be something that they can't do anymore, and it closes. So there's a lot of reasons, right, why a store would close. And none of it is great, right? But taking something, especially like if I were to go through like stuff that my favorite local fish store had, and I could keep that stuff, it would make me feel better, right? Like I have a part of this that I can keep, and I can keep those memories, and I can keep in some way that person's how do you call it, that person's like hopes and dreams. I can keep that with me, and that's important to me too. So it's not like everything's gonna get shut down and I'm gonna benefit. It can be more than that, right? I was keeping fish before retirement. Yep, a lot of people do. But I would say a lot of the people that I've talked to in real life, right, are older men, a few older women that keep fish. And a lot of them also started keeping fish before they were retired. I'm just saying that at this point, right, like they're retired. Not that I'm sure a lot of people retire and then keep fish, but there had to be some interest before. Well, in 2000, I was how old? I was 5-ish, 6. I was 5 or 6 in 2000. So I wouldn't know about that. In 2009, I was in high school. I was in, like, depending on what point of the year, I was either in 8th or 9th grade. So I feel young. right between 2000 and 2009, we had the strip mall boom, and there was way too many stores selling honestly six fish constantly with high turnover. Yep. But I can see it being popular with seniors. Yeah. I would like to make it popular with seniors in my area and provide a fish cleaning service. Fish cleaning tank. Fish cleaning service. Tanks. Fish cleaning service. It's definitely super enriching for them, and it's something to watch that's not a TV. I do this. Not just with seniors, but I go out and I clean tanks. There's a small fee. But I would go out, put out ads in like newspapers, local newspapers, because if you want to target older people, go physical. They don't want to look it up on the computer. Class of 07. Class of 08. Y'all, I was class of 12. 2012. I was supposed to graduate. I did the other route and got out earlier, but 2012 was my graduation year. Right? Yeah. '95. I was born in '94, so I don't know nothing about that. Oh man, look at these guppies. The light's kind of washing them out. They look white. That one that's like the male that's like super white looking is actually blue. I have children your age. I'm 30, so it makes sense, I guess. It hasn't shown up on Restream yet. It is lagging, so that's fun. I don't think it's my internet that's causing these problems. I'm going to yell at them real quick. My youngest is 33. Yep. I'm definitely your kid's age. I tell them they're old. Oh man. Yeah. My kiddo, my oldest, is about to turn 13 this summer. And my youngest is 10. So I'm in for a teenager. And then another one in a couple of years. I'm trying to get the chat on Restream side fixed. All right, I have the chat pulled up on my phone so I can read it easier. I just can't pull it up on Restream side. And it looks like I'm dropping frames on video too, so that's fun. Oh man. I can finally talk, but Restream is being weird. So going back to the topic of DIY, what do you think will be the first things that people will start DIYing? Like, and stop buying, right? And they'll just do it themselves. Because of what's going on now. And I'd also like to know what your first DIY was, if you want to share that too. I'm trying to think what my first DIY was. It was probably a stand was my first. I think my first DIY was something to change water. Like I have a bunch of those little like PVC hook things. I think that was my first DIY. I've made so many different ones. Look at them chase each other. Silly guppies. I've done stands and like box filters and breeding boxes and water changers and pieces of filters and Matten filter is newer, but I did that by myself. Lids, tubs, plumbing tubs, tanks. I've done a lot of DIY actually. Maybe sumps being used more. Homemade sump and spray bars. I was quite impressed with the sump I made. Sorry, I have to look at my phone. Yeah, very fun. I think like some of the convenience items. I think some of the convenience items, like the pythons and water changers like that, breeder boxes, I think, are going to get DIY alternatives first. Lids already are going through a huge DIY phase, so I think that's only going to increase. I don't think that people are going to spend their money on rectangles of acrylic or glass anymore. I think that we're going to see a lot more of the is it polystyrene? No, that's like foam. It's the other one. Polycarbonate. I think we're going to see a lot more of the polycarbonate lids. And I think we're going to see a lot more like of the PVC hook, water changers, and DIY filters. I think are going to be another thing that's going to get more popular. Yeah, pool ponds. Yeah. I've seen a couple of those already coming up on the internet. I think lighting is going to change. I think more people are going to go towards like the cheaper Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot plant growing lights instead of buying like the ones that come over from Asia. I just think that those are going to get too expensive, and the cheaper ones that are being made here, or that are already here, are going to get stockpiled up by fish keepers. I would use a pool pond. I did for my turtles. One of my poor little totes broke, so I'm going to have to transfer everything that's in it into another housing, I guess. It's a bit annoying, but you know, we make do. I was looking at some pools. Let's see. This is one of my smallest little ponds. It's not filtered at all. So this is basically a giant tub of duckweed with like 2 frog pens and some leaves. So this does really well. It's completely filtered by the duckweed. I think there's a couple of gambusia in here still. I'm not going to try and catch them. I'll probably just add a couple more. There is a bunch of snails hanging out on that duckweed. But yeah, this is one of my smallest little tote type ponds. It's basically one of those plastic planters that look like a cut in half barrel. During the winter, I run some air through it. During the hottest days, I put one of those solar powered pumps in there to cool things down and get things circulating. But generally, it does fine, just like this. Where is that tab? All right. I had a picture of that, so I figured I'd share. What do you feed your guppy fry? Food. I don't especially feed them anything. The big guppies um, tend to get really messy with their food, and it drops into that moss over there that you see, and the fry will like take like big flakes or like little pieces of what the adults have been eating or the bigger fry has been eating. When it falls into the moss, they'll also pick out like little microfauna that lives in the moss. So I don't especially feed them anything. I just make sure I drop a couple like extra things, make sure that like some food falls down into the moss for them. And I've been doing that now for a couple of months, since I got them at least. And they're doing wonderfully on it. But I feed the guppies a wide range of things, from brine shrimp to flakes to different kinds of like the pellets. I give them some Medaka food sometimes. And the Medaka food is for really small mouths, so they do well on that too. Actually, here. I fed them this morning, so I'll show y'all. Oh my goodness. I accidentally spilled a little bit more than I wanted to in there. But you know, I'll vacuum it out in the morning. And honestly, they'll probably eat it all. So hello, Jeff. Welcome in. Look at them suck up more food than they can eat. But it's fine. I like this food because of how long it stays in the water column anyway. So I guess you'll get to see that. Just in way too much quantity. But, you know, they're guppies. And I mean, I just did a water change. So the water quality isn't that bad right now. So it's really not going to affect them. I'll just do another water change tomorrow. CC, I only have one female and 25 right now, and shrimp. Other than that, there's really nothing else in the tank. I just have this. I've 5 males and 6 females, I think. 5 males, 6 females, I think. And then the adolescents and the fry. They're really clearing out that whole cloud of food already. You can look at one of the guppies over there picking it out of the moss already. There's a lot of fish in there. I mean, if they eat this all, I might not feed them in the morning. But you can see even the smallest of fry is getting at this food. This female guppy is super aggressive, though. I'm pretty sure she killed the last juvenile female, but she hasn't touched any other fry, or at least that's what I've seen. She hasn't. Sometimes, um, I've noticed that female guppies can get really aggressive when there's not enough other females and males to like spar with her. Um, I noticed that before my large guppy passed away, I couldn't keep anything with her because of how aggressive she was. I mean, as entertaining as it would be for your fish to pay the shrimp to take out her enemies. I just think that she's a guppy, and that's what they do. It was a group of 9. She literally killed the rest of them. I thought it might have been when I added them to the community tank, so I pulled all the guppies and I put them in a breeder with the shrimp. That doesn't sound like a guppy, actually. That sounds like a gambusia. Are you sure she's a guppy? Are there any gamuppies? In retrospect, I probably should have just pulled her, but I wanted her to still have that sense of community. I get it. But sometimes they're just not going to cooperate. I mean, you can always put her in a breeder box and see if it's like a stress issue. So I've heard a lot about female guppies stress eating fry. So I wonder if that could be a possibility with this situation as well. Her offspring better be beautiful. She killed about $200 worth of other guppies. Hopefully she doesn't pass down that aggression either. Look at that male harassing that female and then going to peck off food from the filter. Really a one-track mind with these guppies. She's an absolute tank and her fins are beautiful. I hope she doesn't pass the aggression on either. Yeah. My favorite guppy is that one that looks white. Where is he? It's a boy. Where is he? Let's see. They're all pecking everything off the ground now, so he's probably lower. Let's see. Here he is. I hate this camera sometimes. Sorry about that. But yep, there he is. In the right hand corner. Being all pretty and blue. Alrighty. Well, I will be live again on Wednesday at, I don't know, 9:30, maybe 11. I don't know. I will put it on so it says 9:30, and I'll let y'all know in the chat if I'm gonna go at. I mean, you know what I mean. After New Local Austin, so I'll either go before or after. We'll see what happens. It depends on how I feel. I will put it up as 9:30, and I'll let you know. I'll probably just go at 9:30. And we'll read the next chapter of the book that we were reading, not last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before. I'm saying only one chapter because I kind of want to do like a little review. So we remember what was going on in the first chapter. And then we'll do the second. And that would be fun. Now that the auction is over, yesterday it was really fun to see everybody bid and get all the good stuff that they wanted. It was fun to watch my lot go up for bid. And now that the auction has ended, if you didn't see my post on my community tab, I am taking art commissions again. I am building a waiting list that opens up on the 15th, which means that I'm kind of collecting people now while I'm still closed for commissions. So as long as you message me to be put on the waiting list on the 15th, whoever messaged me first is the first one to go. So I want to kind of explain real quick how that works and like what my waiting lists are, because I think there was a bit of confusion on that. The 15th is this Tuesday. So in the morning, I'll look, and whoever has messaged me before the 15th, or if nobody's messaged me, then which nobody has yet. If nobody's messaged me by the 15th, and then somebody messages me, they're the first person to go after I complete the art. I will do up to 2 commissions at a time. So technically, once this person contacts me from the auction, then I will work on their art. That means that I have a second spot open if somebody wants to commission me. My commission process is I draw, like we talk, and I draw up a concept. We talk about the concept, and if you agree, I take my payment. I draw the initial sketch. We go back for a refinement and revision period. Then I come back and we discuss. I come back with the final sketch approval. Then line art, then base colors, then adjustments, final refinements, and then delivery. So it's payment and then initial sketch. After the initial sketch is approved, I don't accept refunds, but you can get refunds if you'd like. After you pay and you go, oh, you know what? Never mind. I don't like that sketch. I don't want to continue this anymore. I do offer a refund up until that point. Art is weird, you know. I can understand like wanting something and going through with it and then going, I'm not really sure if I like that anymore, actually. So I give, plenty of chances. There is a couple of like paperwork things, and that's why I can take 2 commissions at once, right? So there's the paperwork where we kind of like I talk about what you want, and we do the concept, and we talk about how the concept is mine and mine alone, but your idea is yours, right? And then that's really like where we get a lot of the how do you call it? I really try and narrow down the idea and what I can and can't do, and discuss price at that point so it's very clear and understood. So, again, that's like my commissions are open. If you would like, because a lot of people have expressed interest, if you would like to get a commission, please email me. Email is going to be the easiest way to get a hold of me at this point without having to add me on a social media. I pretty much have my email everywhere. It is ccsaquascapes@gmail.com. Email me, subject line that you want to buy art in some way that I will understand that that's what you want, and I can click on it and read what you want, and we can talk about an email, right? Where it would be easier to talk, right? So if you want a commission, just email me. If you want to look for spelling or whatnot, or you're just like, oh, I know I'm going to not remember whatever. Or if you have a question, there is nothing. It's just letters, no capitals, no symbols. CC's Aqua Escapes. But you can go to my link tree, which is linked everywhere pretty much. And the little email sign where it's like an envelope, if you click that, it'll send you straight to my email. And you can do it that way. Now that that's out of the way, it is getting warmer. And I would like to do more videos. I have a couple upcoming videos. I lost so much footage. I lost like half of my video for a review that I was doing for Haiger. I lost like a whole bunch of footage for the Medaka video that I was doing. And that's my fault. I formatted my SD card, and I can't find anything. So I'm working on both of those things. The Madaka video is obviously going to have to take a back seat to the Hydra video. I will have the Hydra video out as soon as possible, probably sometime early this coming week. That'll be fun. Okay, Wednesday I'll be live at 9:30. I've made up my mind. 9:30. We'll be reading the second chapter and doing a review of the first before that, so we kind of know where we are. I will see you then. I'm getting tired and rambly, so I'm gonna let y'all go. It is now almost midnight here. I'm tired. I hope y'all have a wonderful beginning to your week. I will see you on Wednesday. Thanks, and good night, y'all.